Think of it. Hundreds of thousands of people are going to watch this 2-hour documentary where he's essentially advertising for Merrick Health. And so, who's the smarter businessman? Do you not think that Derek knows exactly what he's doing? Coach Greg, in today's video, Derek from More Plates, More Dates, he finally comes out of hiding. And what does he decide to do? A 2-hour plus movie, a natty or not, on Andrew Tate for no reason. How many of you actually think that Andrew Tate is not natty? He's about 6'3" and only weighs about 200 pounds. Why doesn't he do something we actually care about? A natty or not on, for example, Ashton Hall, Mike O'Hearn, Dana Lynn Bailey? Anything, but not on Andrew Tate.
Today we're doing a full-blown dissection of upwards of $15,000 worth of blood and urine testing to drug test Andrew Tate.
$15,000 on testing. Doing all the tests. When $400 would have been plenty. And so he does this natty or not, spending over 2 hours, but doesn't spend a single minute talking about the elephant in the room, that being his Turkplex. Or better put, the fact that on the label it claims to be a Juga Tikastatica, but it isn't really. This, to me, further evidence that Derek is, of course, lying.
There's been a lot of speculation about Andrew and if he's on steroids, and there has been for years.
And so the actual reason is Derek is advertising his HRT clinic. I mean, that's how Derek makes perhaps tens of millions of dollars. And so do you really think he cares about being honest about testosterone when he's making hella cash from his HRT clinic? Most likely he's going to get a 10 to 100 times return on investment on this. I mean, think of it. Hundreds of thousands of people are going to watch this 2-hour documentary where he's essentially advertising for Merrick Health. And so, who's the smarter businessman? Do you not think that Derek knows exactly what he's doing? And so here's my point. Why doesn't Derek just stop selling Turkplex and Ectiplex? Why does he need it? Why does he need to continue to scam people when he's already making millions of dollars with Merrick Health? And let's now look at his eyes. Does he look a little fatigued, perhaps a little bit stressed out? And so, yeah, he's making mucha dólares, but at what cost to his own health? And so let's now look over his blood work. And so the first thing we notice is that there's a high white blood cell count as well as bacteria in his urine. And we know that he's been in close proximity to Togi.
This is a problem. This is a massive problem.
Bro, you need to get checked out for chlamydia. What may have you contracted? And so please go and check yourself out. Next, we know he smokes like crazy, cigars all day, has tons of caffeine, and eats a lot of red meat, sometimes only eat 1 meal per day. And when you examine his blood work, he has high cholesterol and high glycation end products. And so consider this, Andrew Tate, very athletic, low body fat levels. I mean, he just beat up 60 men in a boxing match all at the same time, one after the other. And he doesn't consume many carbs, but yet his A1C in his blood work, it shows that he's pre-diabetic. And so he isn't actually pre-diabetic, but all of the smoking that he's doing, it's causing high glycation end products, which are damaging to the cells. Andrew, lay off the cigarettes. I mean, frankly, I'd rather see that he's not natural and not smoking cigarettes than being natural but smoking like a chimney. He's literally posted on his wall that he drinks 8 liters of water, but only 1 meal per day. And so let's think about this.
I believe in hydration for all.
8 liters of water, it's a lot. And so if he's drinking that much water, he's probably excessively thirsty. And excessive thirst, it's actually a sign of a disease. Now, looking at his blood work, considering that he drinks all this water, you would think he would have very low levels of sodium, but we in fact see the opposite. I don't mean to sound the alarm, but is it not possible that he has diabetes insipidus or perhaps a rare form of cancer? And remember, when he was in prison, he literally had a mass removed from his lungs. They said it was benign, but we just don't really know. Now, let me save you some time, save you just over 2 hours. You can say thank you, Greg. He's natural.
Thank you, Greg.
Nothing indicated that bro was actually enhanced. Bro is natural. Now, does that prove he was never enhanced in his entire life? No. It proves he's natural right now. And right now, does bro not look natural to you? Now, some of the tests, well, they're not actually required. They're wasting their money for nothing. For example, ADMA and SDMA tests, they're simply speculative. They're not as good as, for example, a creatinine or cystatin C test that you could get for much cheaper. And so, for example, that androgen sensitivity test that Merrick has been promoting, I believe it's around $500 to see if you're receptive to performance-enhancing drugs. Are you really? Is there really any value in this? The test was made for a simple genetic disease, but they're now using it off-label, and for what? And so Andrew Tate, why does he get so much hate? That reminds me of that new song, Marwan. Do you hear about that new song? It's Turk Yourself. Palms are sweaty, knees weak, Gregging his Doucette steady. Vomit on his Cleasy already. Greg Doucette. 50 keys of Turk seized at the border already. It's just topping the charts right now. Coach Greg, did you all know he was a rapper? Originally, before he became famous, Coach Greg was actually that famous rapper 5'6". You perhaps have heard of 6'9", as in 79.
79!
I'm coming out with my new album to go against Togi. And so if you thought the Drake and Kendrick beef was legit, wait till you hear Togi versus Coach Greg. And so if you test for every single marker out there, essentially you Brian Johnson it, there's going to be false positives that are going to lead you to think, oh my God, I'm dying. I have this, I have that. And so unless you, for example, perhaps have chlamydia like Togi, you don't need to stress so much. You shouldn't order $15,000 of tests. Test the basics. And if something then comes up, do the further diagnostic testing and then deal with it at that time. But remember, how much less money would an HRT clinic that's incentivized to have you test for everything, order every single marker possible, and prescribe polypharmacy for all of your problems? And so rather than making tens or perhaps hundreds of millions of dollars, they'd only make a few million or perhaps tens of millions of dollars. And so I wouldn't want that to happen. I mean, I only made $10 million, but if I keep telling everyone, you need to test this, test that, do everything, then we can make more money by prescribing you what you don't actually need, while all under the guide of optimization for the world. And so what do I see about this? Well, in some instances, it's essentially legalized drug dealing. Now, remember, your favorite T-plug, he's smuggling in 50 keys of Turk across the border. But this is not a drug. When you're prescribing drugs, you need to be careful. I would honestly trust Derek's Turk over Greg, LOL. Derek is like the only person in the fitness industry who actually goes above and beyond with putting out quality supplements. Does anyone want to point out that he's been third-party testing 0.36 milligrams of Turk, that he's lying? That he's scamming you, that it's been proven? This is not hearsay. This is not some bullshit drama beef that Coach Greg invented. This is third-party testing, proving it with a mic drop. Why do you care? It saddens me to hear how many people don't care about people who are being scammed. For example, had the same comment when I outed the Ashton Hall scam, where people were losing $4,000 to $10,000 for things that they weren't promised. And because of that video, Ashton Hall is now reached out to several of these individuals to refund them between $4,000 and $10,000. Yeah, I'm a bad person for calling out known scammers and helping them. And so I responded. Because I sell actual Ajuga turkistanica from Uzbekistan. And so for me to have to compete with people who pretend to sell Ajuga and take advantage of consumers is not fair to me, nor the tens of thousands of consumers. Now remember, Derek's product, it's cheaper. I believe it was $50. It was 20% off. It's only $40. Mine, in comparison, is $80. But when I was offered that same copycat plant from China, likely cyanosis, all I had to do was pay $5.85. But instead, I'm manufacturing from start to finish within Uzbekistan and importing said product, but you all think that I'm doing it from some scam supplement company in the United States. This is not the copycat plant from China. Turk Builder Max from start to finish, it comes from Uzbekistan and it continues to get seized at the border. The feds, they don't like the product, but eventually they have to release it. at which point I sell it to you and it sells out in a matter of minutes. Why do you think that is? The people who are buying it keep rebuying it because it works. And if you don't believe it works, that's fine. I understand why. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a money-back guarantee and a $20 gift card. And so if you assume you're going to put on 4 pounds of muscle like Coach Greg, or perhaps 12, whatever number that you want, and you don't put that much muscle and you're disappointed, your money, it's given back. And on top of that, a $20 gift card. Does that sound like a scam to you? You can try it 100% at no risk to you. And if it doesn't work, on top of the money you spent, a $20 gift card. And so if you're interested, click the link in the description, code Greg, 15% off. And remember, it's probably sold out. And so what I'd like you to do is become a VIP member. What happens is you then get an SMS text. 3 hours before it goes live, you are then told, hey, get to the website, buy it right now before it sells out. And so you, in other words, get first dibs. I pray for the squashing of this beef, and so that's a valid point. The beef between myself and Derek would absolutely end if Derek stopped selling fake Ajuga turkistatica. Now, if he wants to say, hey, this is the copycat plant from China, it's got ecdysteroids, by all means, nothing wrong with that. But when you lie, when it says Ajuga turkistatica on the label, when there's a photo of the turkesterone molecule, and when you right-click on the URL and it comes up as turkesterone and it's called Turkplex, you're misleading and tricking and scamming your consumers. And so you can say Derek is the best guy in the world because, well, 3 or 4 years ago, he gave quality information. And since that time, since going on the Joe Rogan show, what do you think has happened? Derek is a businessman. He went to university for business. Very intelligent, knows how to make the money. But do you really think he cares? How often does he post videos? And in comparison to that Coach Greg guy, he doesn't care. I mean, he's only got over 1.1 billion views, going to fitness seminars around the world, talking to people, helping the country of Malta, meeting up with the Prime Minister to help gyms become free. But no, Greg is a bad person because he suggests that you buy some turkesterone. Really? Go. Greg is bad because he made a natty or not on my favorite influencer. Well, were they natural? No. Well, what's wrong with that? Calling out the BS. How many anti-steroid videos do I have? Hundreds? Do I have perhaps 1,000? How many times do I tell people to main gain? To do cardio, 150 minutes of cardio a week. To put the fork down and just be healthy always. Derek, on the other hand, promotes a natty or not on Andrew Tate for no reason. And so get mad at me if you want, but which one of us has always been there to make videos? To always tell you exactly what I think? Which one of us has demonstrated greater integrity than last time? Which one of us has proven that we sell actual Ajuga turkistatica? Third-party tested, not once, twice, but 3 times. Every time, greatly exceeding label claim. While Derek had 0.36 milligrams and fails to even address it when in the past, anytime someone attacked Derek, he was quick to point out, no, they got it wrong. And so why do you think he's hiding? Why do you think? Whether your plant grows on the moon or Mars, neither of you guys have a product that works. Let's assume that to be true. I mean, mine is from Uzbekistan. Never said it was Mars and moon. Let's say that neither of us actually worked. I'm not lying about what I'm selling. I'm selling Ajuga turkistatica. He's lying about what he's selling. He's not selling Ajuga turkistatica. And so do you see the difference? You may or may not believe that mine works. You probably tried Derek's and perhaps you didn't make the gains that you want, but you likely didn't try mine because if you did, it would have either worked or you would have got your money back. And so where is the problem? We don't care, Greg. We love you, bro, but let's be real. GM is a better product. And so it's crazy that a product that claims 10 milligrams of turkesterone and has 14 plus versus a product that claims 50 and had 0.36, that's the better product. I mean, it's crazy. It would be like selling milk and in the container it's water and saying that's a better product than mine that says milk that has milk in it. Do I look scared? Do you believe for 1 second that anything that I've been saying in my videos that I'm lying? Or do you believe that Derek is hiding because he knows I know the truth? Let me know in the comment section. Remember, I offer coaching plans. You get check-ins, training program, diet program. We'll go over your blood work, go for everything. And calls on the phone with Coach Greg. I had one yesterday. It's been my third, and they are drastically reduced prices. And so if you're interested, click the link and apply right now. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 bloops. And until next time, I am out.